Hello again, friends, and welcome to episode number 278. Every week, we strive to bring our viewers interesting cars and other informative content. We appreciate all of our new subscribers, as well as the ones who've been with us for a while. We couldn't do this without your support. In keeping with the goal of bringing you the coolest, most unusual cars you've never seen, or will likely ever see, at a show or a car gathering near you, we bring you a 1960 Meteor two-door ranch wagon. It's a Canadian-built model, and not many were made back in 1960s, so even then they were a rare sight. To see one all these years later, and now based in Arizona, is something extraordinarily special. We'll let owner Jim Wagnon tell you about his patinaed, yet mechanically new Meteor. You're sure to love it.
My name is Jim Wagnon. This is my 1960 Meteor. This is a Canadian product of the Ford Motor Company, not associated with Mercury. Meteor was a standalone brand. The car was manufactured in Oakville, Ontario, Canada. In 1960, they produced 19,356 cars, total production. The 1960 two-door Meteor Ranch Wagon only saw 491 examples produced. I don't know if there's any more out there. I can't seem to find any. I've certainly scoured the internet high and low, and I can't find any 60 Meteor Ranch Wagons. So what's the survival rate on them? Probably not too good. My car came originally equipped with a 223 six-cylinder and a 3-speed with 389 gears. By the time the car made it to me, it had a 1968 FE 360 with a cruise-o-matic transmission. I couldn't really bring myself to put a 6-cylinder back in it, so I went ahead and put 6 barrels on it. The car is pretty peppy, or really it's just a 406 with extra stroke. It has 406 tri-power on it, a mechanical tappet cam. It's a mild cam, much like the 401 horse 390 or the 406 would have come with. We've got a top loader 4-speed out of a 64 Galaxy, and we've got a Mickey Thompson scatter shield. It's a period piece with a small transmission bolt pattern, and it's got a removable bottom cover, which is handy. I got on the Meteor Facebook forum and started asking questions and digging around. The guys on there are just fantastic people. One fellow said, I knew a car just like this in the late 70s in the Vancouver area. And the fellow was restoring it. He had it painted, and he was working on it. And this fellow actually wanted to buy it at the time, but the fellow didn't want to sell it. Number of years went by. The fellow decided to sell it. He got a hold of this fellow that I was chatting with on Facebook, and he said, I'm ready to sell. Well, at that point, the fellow didn't have the money to buy it. He did note that the hood had taken just a little bit of damage. Sure enough, the hood on this car had taken damage. He said that car was originally a 6-cylinder 3-speed. Of course, this car was. So it appeared that in every likelihood, this was the same very car that I had. A fellow out of Minnesota bought the car and brought it into the U.S. He owned it for a number of years. He actually bought and sold it back twice, then selling it to a fellow that brought it to Phoenix. In Phoenix, it went through 3 other owners, and the car was not really progressing. I can't believe it just floated around as a basket case project car since the late 70s, but that's what happened. So the car came to me. I looked it over and thought about it very carefully, and it occurred to me that this car just needs to be done as a survivor. Just do sympathetic restoration. I had a number of accessories for it because I have a 60 Edsel. A lot of the accessories were in common. I had a lot of factory performance pieces in my inventory. So I took the block, heads, a number of things to Morrison Auto Machine here in Glendale. That's Dan and Doug Morrison and Mark. I know we talked about them on our test ride, and they're booked about a year out. They're pretty much the best at what they do. They're worth the wait. And I got in line, and they did the machine work as I was restoring the chassis and doing, again, sympathetic restoration. The car came together nicely. 6 cylinders was replaced with 6 barrels. Got the engine transmission in, redid the brakes, redid the fuel delivery. I actually built a receiver hitch for it. I tow my motorcycle trailer with it. And so an antique car pulling an antique motorcycle is kind of an anomaly. Put 325 gears in the back. That's kind of my go-to ratio for 4-speed cars. And so it tows well, pulls away, plenty of torque, obviously. Although if you get those outboard carburetors opened, it certainly winds up quick. A few other things that I ended up doing to it. I had a set of the Kelsey Hayes Cat Eye 15x5 wheels, which those were an option on a wagon. If you checked the wheel box, those were the wheels you got. They weren't just on the high performance Starliners and the 360 horse 352 cars. Of course, I added the spotlights, bumper guards, exhaust deflectors. Car came with backup lights, and it has a day-night mirror. Strangely, option delete is the clock, radio, and padded dash. Those are things that this car does not have. As far as how it drives and handles, it's really funny. Wagons shared basically the same suspension, sway bar, 11x3 large front brakes. Those things are all in common with the factory high performance cars. So really, a wagon is kind of a good choice. For the package, for the driveline package that's in it. But basically, we have a lot of fun with it. It's something that we drive around to shows and just use as a car. It's well behaved and fun to drive. And that's my story.
Well, what did you guys think of this extremely rare Ford product from Canada? Tell us in the comments. Join us again next week, and thanks again for watching.